Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, how will NFL players and owners respond to President Trump's warning about league-wide protests? Plus, Odell Beckham Jr. has promised more elaborate touchdown celebrations. What can we expect from the Giants wideout? And Cedric the Entertainer joins today's show to talk LeBron, Wade, and more. Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Yesterday, President Trump urged NFL owners to adopt and enforce a rule that requires players to stand during the anthem. He added that he has spoken to several team owners, and he thinks owners are afraid of their players. The president went on to say the protests are hurting the league. Let's take a listen.
You cannot have people disrespecting our national anthem, our flag, our country, and that's what they're doing. And in my opinion, the NFL has to change. Or you know what's going to happen? Their business is going to go to hell.
Shannon, how will this play out?
It's going to play out like it's been playing out over the last 6 or 7 years. The NFL will be just fine. It's been fine for 98 years, and I don't see that slowing down.
I hope you're right.
But let's be realistic, though, Skip. Trees do not grow to the sky. Even giant sequoias, which is the largest individual single tree, they don't grow to the sky. Now, one was reported at 314 feet high. That doesn't touch the sky.
Nope.
Look at the most popular TV shows, The Mashes, The Friends, The Simpsons. Did the ratings go up every single year? Or did they go up, they hold steady, they drop, they go back up? And that's what we're going to see from the NFL. But also, maybe millennials are not watching getting a game from network television. Maybe they're streaming it. You know, that's not the only way that you can watch a football game is on television.
Good point.
But here's the thing. All President Trump is doing is trying to distract you from the real issues. Since he's been in office, 8 months since he's been in office, Skip, it has been very unsuccessful for him. He's trying to distract you on 3 different occasions. What the Republican Party and President Trump has been trying to do, President Trump since he's become president, but the Republican Party has been trying to undo Obamacare. They've had 3 cracks at it. And each time they've been unsuccessful. So let's talk about the NFL. Skip, the way I look at it like this here, the NFL has bigger issues than protesters. They have CTE, and in 2014, they had a domestic violence scandal amongst some of their players. How did the NFL do, Skip? Record ratings. All he's trying to do is distract you from the issues. Now, and his base loves this. Now, the NFL, they need to say, well, look, but we know what they're going to do because we know how the NFL feels about him. And we're going to talk about this later because he said he talked to Jerry after that situation. Skip, the owners are asking themselves, what's the least amount I can do, but I can appease both sides? What's the least that I can get the most out of? See, if I take a knee and I lock arms and I say my players, it's okay, my black players, 70% of the NFL is made up of black players. Okay, my owner cares. He's linking arms, we showing solidarity. But Jerry took it a little step further. We're going to talk about him also. Yeah, he kneeled, pleased his players, but that wasn't during the anthem. See, we know how President Trump looks at it like this. You either with me or you're against me. We saw on the campaign trail at his rallies, when protesters would stand up, what would his base do, Skip? They would hit him. Oh, I'll pay you fine. Don't you miss the good old days when you could just take them out back and beat the hell out of them? Said if they got arrested, he would pay to get them out, Skip. So this is the kind of attitude that a leader of, say, Russia or a leader of Turkey, when protesters, what do the police and what do people do? They get beat down.
Yep.
And that's what President Trump wants. But he's not distracting me because I know what's going on. I know what he's trying to do because the NFL is such a big business, Skip. If you want to hit your wagon and you want to see it rise, tag on to the NFL. Because while he says ratings are dipped, do you factor in that this year we've had a storm that meteorologists say hadn't taken place in 800 years? The city of Houston got more rain in a 72-hour period than Seattle got in an entire year, and it broke a record. So what do you think? What about Irma? People were without power. I'm sorry, if my house is flooded, I'm not going to a bar to worry about a football game because football is a small part of people's day-to-day lives. football, I want my team to win, Skip, and I'm excited when they do. Yeah, if my team loses, I'm a little disappointed. But that really doesn't affect day-to-day life. Everything that President Trump does affects somebody's day-to-day life in a different way than a sporting event does. But I see what he's trying to do, Skip. He's just trying, this is a red herring. He's trying to distract from the real issues. Protesters are the least of the NFL's problem. They have a much bigger problem. And the big problem is starting to be this guy with his rhetoric. Because what we know, Skip, is that we thought, oh, the American people are going to be smart. They're going to figure this thing out. He's tapped into something. He got those dog whistles blowing loud. And people that's in his base and some of these other Americans, they see that. I wore this tie. This is not an accident I didn't wear this tie.
Oh, I like it.
Because I didn't want people to say I'm unpatriotic.
Okay.
So I wanted to put on the red, white, and blue. So this is not, I'm starting to catch on like President Trump. I know I'm starting to learn how to play this game.
Twitter, tell him he's okay. Tell him he's a patriot. I got to tell you, my friend, I see this very differently than you do. I see this as the greatest threat in the history of the National Football League to its very popularity and ability to continue to succeed at the highest level.
Okay.
I didn't think I'd ever see the day in which the President of the United States doubled down on trying to take down the National Football League. The most popular game in the United States. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, I know baseball's the national pastime, but I think it used to be.
Yes.
It's the national past its time. I don't know. But football surpassed it.
Football is
right?
it now.
I enjoyed watching the Cubs clinch last night, like everybody else. But still, this is the NFL we're talking about, and the President of the United States has now committed, it appears, to trying to divide it and conquer it.
Yes.
Because he even went on Fox and Friends this morning, if I can find it. And here we go, Donald Trump. And he says, I think the owners are afraid of the players, if you want to know the truth. And I think it's disgraceful. They've got to be tough and they've got to be smart. So he's now trying to pit the owners against the players.
You hear that whistle blowing, Skip?
Okay, so I'm going to remind you of something. Less than a year ago, this president won an election that a lot of people I know did not think he could win. I did not vote for him. I'm pretty sure you didn't vote for him.
No.
And I'm pretty sure you were completely and utterly shocked when you woke up to the fact, or if you, I don't know if you even went to bed.
I was going to bed and I knew it was inevitable.
Okay. Were you not shocked?
Shocked.
So because he won the election, and because, to use your term, he's blowing his dog whistle, he is now trying to remobilize his constituency to hit the NFL where it could hurt the most. It's pocketbook. The bottom line is always the bottom line, right? What is your income? If you get enough people to call DirecTV, and we saw a story a couple days ago that they were saying, hey, if you call and you say, I don't like the protests, we will refund your $280 subscription and give you the 3 games you already got for free, if that's the reason you give. I don't know how many actually called. I don't know how many will actually start to walk out of games after protests. I don't know how many will turn off games. I don't know how many will say, I don't want to buy the product that sponsor is advertising on my team's telecast. I don't know, but this man is powerful. This man does have a large group of supporters. I'm going to guess that some are off the bandwagon because of that he's failing at his job in many people's eyes. But even though his approval rating is now at a historic low, the point is that he is now a desperate man, and this is a desperate act. But think about it. If, in fact, this is our all-time most egomaniacal president, how much would it mean to him to say, I brought, so to speak, the NFL to its knees, so to speak?
He tried to do it before. Remember, he sued for $1.2 billion.
Yep.
He was
now you're going way back to the
USFL.
day.
Well, you remember, Skip, he was the reason why the USFL failed, because he was outbidding for players.
Okay, but then he wasn't the president of the United States, and he hadn't won that election, right?
That's your question, though, Skip? Why would a businessman, you know, he prides himself on being a great businessman. Why would he buy into attempt to buy into a business that he knew was going to hell? Remember, he tried to purchase the Buffalo Bills, and the owners blocked him. They wanted Kim and Terry Pagula to buy the Buffalo Bills.
No, but now his point is, because you're protesting, you're going to go to hell. Okay, so let's refresh here. The reason for the current protests is that he rebooted all the protests.
Right.
The protests were fading. They were sort of going into the background, not in a bad way, but I think most teams were back into let's play football.
Right.
Right?
Rest.
And all of a sudden, at a rally in Huntsville, Alabama, it appeared to me watching the video that he went off script as an aside, because he had said a couple of times, what a great crowd, what a great crowd. So he's going to play to the crowd by taking a shot at the NFL's protesters who were no longer really actively protesting.
Correct.
And he went all the way to SOB. Well, now you've called out at least 70-some% of the NFL, right?
Yes.
And you have effectively forced them to protest you.
Correct.
Your protest of their protest, right?
Yes.
So again, we're off message from Colin Kaepernick.
That's what he did.
Okay, but I don't think that was premeditated. I think he is so desperate that he knows he can reach to the right for whatever supporters he has left, and they are flag wavers, not that you're waving your flag too. I wave my flag, but I'm talking about blindly loyal to the anthem, you know, that's sacred, to hope that you can remobilize those people to say no to the National Football League. That, I'm not sure it'd help his approval rating, but it would help his ego. You know, what if he, would that not be a career achievement that I made the NFL say uncle, right?
But here's the thing though, Skip. The NFL and its players, the black players, have been the most outspoken on President Trump. Now, we know that 7 of the most prominent owners in the NFL, they gave $1 million+ to President Trump for his inauguration. So while the players have been outspoken.
And by the way, of those owners you mentioned, without going into names, 4 of them are liberal Democrats, just for the record. You know, it's not just all right-wingers that gave.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, most people vote with their back pockets in mind.
I got it. You are correct.
But now, we did see some people vote against their own best interest because he was talking about replacing Obamacare, and millions upon millions were going to lose health care. Millions upon millions with pre-existing conditions were going to lose health care. And then if you got it, your premium was going to be so high, you're almost better off dead than alive because you're going to put your family in such a financial bind that your grandkids' kids would be trying to pay off this debt.
Okay.
So some people did vote against their own self-interest. But what we know about most people vote with themselves in mind.
Okay.
What's in the best interest for Shannon Sharpe? What's in the best interest for Skip Bayless? And what he's trying to do, and as you mentioned, this is like saying, oh, they're scared of their players. This is like saying the warden is scared of the inmates. He's protected.
That's what he's saying. That's exactly right.
Exactly. Yeah. And so he's trying to split.
No, he's saying the inmates are running your asylum. You better get control of your asylum.
Exactly. Yeah. And what he wants there to be is an uprising and for the owners to quell these such protests as his supporters would do to the protesters at his rally. They would punch him. They would kick him. The officer would come. I guess you can have First Amendment anywhere except a President Trump rally, candidate Trump at the time. But that's neither here nor there, Skip. But we see what he's, Skip. Remember the shell game now. Let's stay focused right here because he wants you to get distracted talking about the NFL. The NFL is doing just fine. Commissioner Goodell got a new extension. They still, NFL, they cutting checks, the revenue, you know, Fox and CBS, these networks, cutting checks to the tune of $250 million every year.
Okay.
That's not the count, but you get on your own.
But I'm going to remind you, if I can go really historical, Rome fell. And there would be many years you'd say, Rome's going to fall? Yeah. Rome owns the world. Nope, Rome fell. The Roman Empire, right?
And why did it fall?
Well, I can give you a bunch of reasons.
Yeah. But here's the thing. But see, Skip, look. You should be very cautious because what he's shown you that he can do things that people think are impossible or improbable because he pulled it off. And while we were hoping that America would see through this facade, they did not. and some are saying they're having buyer's remorse, but that's one thing, kind of like Brexit in the UK.
Okay.
Once you get in, you can't get out. So we're going to have to deal with this president for the next three years. You might have another 4 years of it. I'm not so sure that he's going to be out of there because his base, Skip, you're not changing their mind. I wouldn't even worry about if I run against him as a Democrat or whatever, maybe he has somebody challenge him.
Okay, but if you're right about that and he can convince his base to vote no to the NFL, then he is going to maybe not kill the golden goose that is the NFL, but he might wound it, right?
Yes. But if I'm running against him, Skip, I'm not worried about his base. I'm trying to get the people out that didn't vote. I'm trying to get the independents over to my side. You're not changing their mind, Skip. They're dug in. Because a lot of those see the world, has his views. Skip, I read this morning that the FBI released a stat that the domestic terrorism is on the same level playing field as the jihadists. But we only talk about the jihadists. We don't talk about the domestic, the white supremacists that's creating havoc right here in America. He knows that. He got that information before it was published. I see what he's trying to do. This is all a distraction. But Skip, and I hope, you know what? I wouldn't be terribly disappointed if the ratings started to dip, because you know why? Then the players would have the owners' undivided attention. Because then and only then, they talk about, oh, yeah, we're lining and you know, we going to move forward. I mean, I see everybody releasing, you know, it was a great show of loyalty and we showed solidarity, but hopefully we can move forward. Right. They want to move forward as quick as they possibly can.
I'm serious. The owners are going to have to think hard about, they're going to have to double down in fighting back against the president that they helped get elected, in many of them.
Because we know one thing. They say, well, President Trump is very loyal. No, he's not. Because we've seen him fire so many people. But we're going to find out how loyal is Mr. Kraft and Jerry Jones and Stan Kroenke and Mr. Bob McNair and Snyder and Woody Johnson. We're about to find out just how loyal they're willing to be. Because when them back
they won't. They already showed you. I mean, Robert Kraft already issued an anti-Trump statement. Okay, but just for the record, that's bigger deal than you think. To me, Jerry Jones kneeling even just before the anthem with his players, a bigger deal than you're giving it credit for.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
is. Because you know what he did? He said, Mr. President, I don't know, I mean, they're on a personal level, so he probably called him Donald.
Okay,
you know, this is all I did.
Okay, but
we're going to stand moving forward.
If Donald continues to threaten the golden goose,
that's what I want
at some point,
keep it up.
The owners are going to have to fight back PR-wise. They're going to have to start making big donations to social causes, whatever cause it is.
Keep
to
it
make
going.
It look like, okay, we're with our players and we're against that president. Because the president he's backed the players into, he keeps saying the owners are in a box, the players are backed into a corner. How can you not continue to protest every week? He called you out.
Again.
Right? Yeah, I mean, he triples down. He did it again
I
today.
want to see, because the only thing that grabs the owner's attention is money. Not these causes, money. And he's going to challenge that. So we're going to see if you put your money where your mouth is.
Well, aside from the ratings, and there's obviously a lot of different factors, like you mentioned, the storms and streaming and all of that. The average NFL franchise is worth $2.5 billion, and that's up 8% from last year. So they're still making money. Honestly, when he first said that on Friday night, my first thought was, wow, he's actually lost it. He's no longer just attacking poor people or minorities or women or, you know, minority groups. He's actually attacking billionaires. And those are 32 billionaires who don't like being told what to do and certainly don't like someone telling them where they can do and what they can do with their money. So I keep it up. Keep challenging the richest, most powerful men in this country.
Because, see, this is what Skip is
long. But last time. This is the biggest threat this league has ever faced, only because this is beyond CTE or players strikes or whatever. This is the president of the United States who got elected.
But those are 32 very powerful, very rich men.
For 50 years, this man has been bullying people.
Yes.
And nobody cared. The owners didn't care one iota until he came for because guess what, Skip?
Yep.
Sometimes when it comes knocking on your door, you got the answer.
Yep. He's banging on you.
No mercy. NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the latest person to speak on President Trump's comments about the anthem. Kareem said, quote, "I think what has happened here is that people don't like the message, so they're trying to find fault with the messenger. And 49ers safety Eric Reed, who kneeled with Colin Kaepernick last season, said he talked to Cap this week, and Colin expressed frustration about the original message of racial inequality getting lost. Let's take a listen.
He thinks that it was a direct response to obviously what the president said. He wishes that this many people were involved last year. I don't think the narrative would have went in as many directions as it went if we had more solidarity. We could have focused in on these issues, but we got to be pragmatic about it. We have this opportunity now, and it's important that we discuss the issues and make changes.
Shannon, what are your thoughts?
They're absolutely right. And this is what I was afraid of, and this is why I tried to remove myself and didn't want a situation where Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis, friends going at each other. That's not the issue. The issue is not about what I said or what he said. It's about what led Colin Kaepernick to originally take a knee. Skip, Kareem must be watching this show, because I also said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if you like the messenger, you're more apt to receive the message.
Yep.
But if you don't like the messenger, no matter how good or great the message is, you're likely to tune him out.
Well, even if you like or don't like, you can, so to speak, kill the messenger. Yes.
Exactly. Or if you don't like the message, you'll try to discredit the messenger.
Correct.
And that's what we saw with Dr. King and the civil rights going on.
That is correct.
Somehow, it's still about the anthem, it's still about the flag, it's still about the country and the military and what Cap really, now we're talking about solidarity and love and unity, and we linking arms. Skip, it's easy to have a stance about the anthem. It's so much harder to talk about the issue which led Colin Kaepernick to do what he did. I wish the outrage that people are showing for the anthem and the flag, they'd have shown that when Tamir Rice, when Freddie Gray, when Eric Gardner, and Philando Castile, Alton Sterling. I wish we could have saw this type of vitriol from the other side. But nope. Now we've got this kneeling anthem protest, and he's trying to draw attention to the social and the racial injustices in America. And now we taking a knee, we linked up against President Trump because he's attacking us. Look, yeah, he's attacking it. And yeah, some of his rhetoric, most of his rhetoric is unbecoming of someone that's occupying that office.
Yep.
But the issue still are the social and racial injustices that minorities face in this country. That's what the issue is. Somehow we're still talking about, during the anthem, we're joining arms and we go inside swaying and we're having a kumbaya moment. And the kumbaya moment is very, very good. But once we're done singing kumbaya, can we start talking about these issues which led Colin Kaepernick to take the knee for in the beginning? Can we start talking about that? Because we've gotten so far from the original narrative of why he did it and what he did that half the time I'm like, we still talking about, President Trump is still talking about the protest, but he has yet to mention what led to the protest. We hear people talking about the anthem. Okay, but what led to the protest of the anthem? He's not protesting the anthem. He knew, Skip, that they would ask him, why are you sitting down during the national anthem when everybody else is standing? He knew they would ask him. When they ask him, he says the social injustice and the racial injustice that I see in America is unacceptable. It's not about the military. Next words out of his mouth. This is not about the flag, not about the anthem, not about the military. It's about the police brutality, the killing of unarmed black men and women and people of color at the hands of the police, unarmed. Again, I said unarmed, and there's no accountability. That's what I don't understand. And it's plain as day. Let me ask you a question, Skip. Black man run from the cops like Baker Mayfield. What happens? This was pitch black.
It almost happened to Baker Mayfield, but go ahead.
He got tackled.
Up against a wall, he got tackled. He got roughed up, man.
Walter Scott said, I wish they'd have tackled me in a grass field.
Yep.
Walter Scott jumps out and runs at 9:30 in the morning. He gets 5 shots in the back, and they hang the jury. This is what Colin Kaepernick is talking about. This is what the protest is all about. It's not about no flag. And, Skip, I don't know how many times I can say this. The flag is supposed to be a representation of the freedoms and the liberties, what this country represents, that everybody should be treated equal. And if you're a white man, you get no more benefit than if you're a black man or a woman or transgender. That's what the flag, that's what the flag is about, liberty and opportunity and freedoms. If everybody doesn't enjoy the same opportunities,
Yep.
well, how can you say this is great? And that's it. The right to, I just don't understand why when we start to talk about race, everybody becomes so dismissive of it. And it's, I don't want to talk about race. And if I tell you you're showing a blind eye to racism, you tell me I'm a race baiter. How, and somehow I get viewed worse as trying to bring light and shed light on a subject than the person that actually turns the light off in doing this. How did that happen? How somehow Colin Kaepernick get demonized, ostracized, and looked down upon more than the people that's committing the acts. I just don't know how that works, Skip.
Okay, so back to what Eric Reed said, back to what Kareem said. Here's my personal problem with this whole theme of we've lost the message.
Yeah.
I haven't lost it. You certainly haven't lost it. We've been doing this show now for a year and almost another month.
Yep.
Started September 6th of a year ago. And just about every day for the duration and history of Undisputed, you have brought up that message.
Yes.
And I'm proud of that, but I'll go a step further. I started a good 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate about this. You can look it up. Talking about how outraged I was and how outraged black and white people should be over
Yes.
the white cops who have shot unarmed black men. And it was happening over and over and over again. And so in my little tiny way, I was trying to further the message, promote the message to as many people who would open their ears, eyes, and hearts, talking about white people, and at least absorb it and understand it. Then I'm not sure exactly what they could do about it, but it just creates conversation, it creates awareness, and I'm going to go to my grave saying Colin Kaepernick had national impact on
Absolutely.
just creating awareness. So now, when you say don't focus on the flag, but just remember that that's not exactly right, because Colin was saying from the start, I cannot honor that flag that represents a country that will not treat me equally.
Exactly.
So it is about the flag in a way, and I get it, and I'm good with. I told you I cringe because I love my country, but we all love you. You got on red, white, and blue. You love your country.
Yes.
And yet, this has gone so far that it took something that extreme to create awareness.
Right.
It created awareness. So now everybody is, to quote your brother Ray Lewis, he saw such confusion in the eyes of the Ravens just before kickoff, and he was obviously lost in the confusion.
Right.
So he said he finally decided to kneel in prayer and ask God to help us in this state of chaos. Okay, but my point is, everybody's confused now because the president suddenly attacked the league. So now the white players are confused because they're with their black brothers, so they don't know any more to do but lock arms during the anthem.
Lock arms and block him out. Again, because remember, Ray said they were confused. What's the confusion about? Colin Kaepernick took a knee for racial and social injustices in America.
But they're not sure. Then what do we do now? So what's the next step? What would Shannon do? Should everybody kneel? Should nobody? Should we stay in the locker room? That's the confusion.
But
and we saw the Steelers. I believe the Steelers were so confused at kickoff, they lost focus on the primary initiative of the moment, which was to actually play a football game. And they got beaten by the Chicago Bears. The Ravens proceeded in London to get annihilated by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now I'm reading this week, I think the Packers have been a little confused. They've had to spend a lot of time and effort on this, right?
Right.
And the Carolina Panthers seem completely chaotically split over the owner says this, but we think this, and it's hard, man.
Because here's where the confusion, and this is where reading what I said, the message has been lost. The white players are saying we should join our brothers because President Trump called them that protesting an SOB. Okay, they're joining to show solidarity with their brothers.
But I think they were well aware of what Colin's message was from the beginning.
Skip, everybody is well aware.
Okay.
But if we keep talking about other things, the message over time starts to dissipate. Yeah. Skip, you know I love quotes. You know I love them, and I got a bunch of them. But Dr. King said, somewhere I read, the greatness of America is the right to protest for right.
It is.
The greatness of America.
It is. That's a fact. Mm-hmm.
So you think about that. The very country that we live in that is so great was founded on what, Skip? Protest.
It was founded on religious freedom to worship whatever way you wanted to worship.
So they didn't protest. So they didn't go to war against Britain.
But,
so why did they jump that?
No, I'm just saying, but it was for religious freedom to start with.
Yeah, but they protested.
Yes.
The issue is about the protest. They dumped that tea in the harbor for something.
Taxation without representation. That's the Boston Tea Party. Okay, so that's the next.
So that's a protest.
Yeah, yes.
So the very country that was founded on protest, religious, and taxation without representation, and the ability to be free and do everything they want was founded on protest. But when citizens of the country that don't feel that they're being treated fairly or equally or being heard protest, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, again, but back on message. I just don't think the message has been lost. I think Aaron Rodgers was saying we need to keep this conversation alive that's uncomfortable. Well, the conversation is about white cops, unarmed black men, right?
Yeah, but that's not why everybody took a knee. Everybody took a knee on Sunday. Why? Did everybody take a knee for Colin Kaepernick's message, or did everybody take a knee and link arms because of what President Trump said?
Well, they're sort of intertwined. They're saying we're still standing by Colin Kaepernick's message. That's how I interpret it.
Well, you took a huge leap because I didn't take it like that. Let me ask you a question. If President Trump had not said what he said, would around the league, would we have seen what we saw? So therefore, the message is being somewhat suppressed because they're taking the knee and linking with their brothers because of what President Trump said, not Colin Kaepernick's original message on why he took the knee.
Okay, but I think Colin Kaepernick succeeded, and then others weren't ready to carry on the torch. And so that's why Kenny Stills said, what, a week ago?
Yes.
Brothers, where are you? Is it gone? Has it died out? Or are we going to just let it? Are we just going to do football now? That's what he was saying.
Well, if you don't talk about it, and that's the thing, people think if you don't talk about it, it'll go away. And that's the way some see race. If we don't talk about it, it'll just go away and everything will be better. No, it's not going away, and we're not going to stop talking about it. So eventually, you'll come to the table and help us come to the best way to resolve. Don't say, well, what do you want me to do?
Well, we've said it several times, history repeats itself. So for everyone who wants to sit on the sidelines or put their head in the sand, that's where he'll stay. And history is going to look back on this particular time in society, and you will have been on one side or the other, and it's up to you to choose which side you want to be on, because there are sides now.
Yes.
No mercy. Odell Beckham Jr. received a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Sunday for pretending to urinate like a dog. Odell said, quote, "I'm a dog, so I acted like a dog." He also met with Giants owner John Mara after Mara said he was very unhappy with the act. Despite all that, Odell said he's not shying away from celebrations. Let's take a listen.
Odell, going forward, would you choose a different form of celebration? Do you feel that you were out of line with that one?
I don't know. I don't think any of us know the rules on what you could do celebrating. You know, they put in a new celebration thing to kind of make it seem as if, you know, the players can celebrate, and then you celebrate and, you know, you only have 40 seconds. So if you celebrate for 20, you got 20 seconds to run on and kick a field goal. So I don't really know. I don't really know how it works, but I do know going forward I have a lot better celebration.
We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you, thank you.
Eric, what do you expect from Odell going forward?
You know, I'm not against celebration. I've never been a big fan of celebrations. I didn't do it, but
what did you do, by the way?
I handed the ball to the referee. I just dropped it on the ground.
Every time.
I spiked about one time against Atlanta because they hit me late, and that was it. I was pissed, but that's just that's not my thing. I feel like that he will do something. Matter of fact, I talked to me the king of celebrations, T.O. last night, and I asked you. I said, what do you think of the celebration? He said, well, I didn't think it was right. I mean,
really?
Yeah, he said I didn't think it was right. He said I think it was a little, over the top.
If T.O. says over the top, it's over the top.
I mean, and think about that, because T.O. had all kind of celebrations.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the pom-poms, I think Glenn on the star and everything. But
Sharpe
you think about this here. I think when you look back, and he looks back when he's my age, 50 years old, and you look back and say, was that cool? Would you want your son doing that? You have to say, no, you wouldn't. What do you think his mama would say? Mama looked at that and say, boy, I'm proud of my son. That just makes me proud. He's peeing like a dog. No, I mean, that's what you have to think about. And so, and he's the face of the franchise. I mean, he really is. Even if you don't want to be, you are. I mean, I was the face of the Rams one time. You were the face, maybe one time. Maybe you kind of one of the faces. Skip, you were a face one time, of course. But you know, when you're the face of a franchise, you can't act like that. You just can't.
Skip, you can't act like this.
You can't say those kind of things. So, you know, that's my take on it. But, you know, I think he will do something for sure. What he'll do, I think he will curb it back. I don't think he'll probably get a fine. A fine or the 15-yard penalty.
He's talking about, well, you only get 40 seconds. You know, you get 20 seconds to celebrate. Do you really need 20 seconds to celebrate? 20 seconds is a long time to be celebrating.
Yeah.
I don't think he realizes how long 20 seconds is if you do a celebration. I mean, he wants them to just pause it. Like, stop the clock.
Stop.
Let me go ahead and do my thing, what I'm going to do. Okay, now you can start the clock and let the field goal PAT team come on. No, come on, Odell. But the thing is that what I've tried to do is that I've tried not to develop any bad habits at a young age, because as you get older, it gets harder to break those habits. When he was young was the time that you should have reached Odell. And the first showing that he exhibited this type of behavior, the celebration that could cost the team, he's like, Odell, look, I want you to have fun. You're in the entertainment business, but you can't cost us 15 yards. Mm-hmm. Well, you let it go because you're winning. You let it go, you let it go, you let it go. And now that you're 0-3, now the reason why you're 0-3 is because Odell acted like a fool. That's what bothered me about coaching. ED, you know you had this.
I know the deal.
We lose a game, and it was because I didn't have my chin strap button. Sharpe, button that chin strap. That ain't the reason we lost on Sunday. You make it seem like I didn't have my helmet on. But it's the little nitpicky things. And this, like I said, if you don't accept anything in a win that you wouldn't in a loss, you'll be fine. Because they glossed over a lot of his behavior. He's gotten some flags before, but they won the game, and everybody been Odell dog. But Odell that beast. Man, you see Odell? Now all of a sudden you 0-3, and look at Odell acting like a fool. He's done he kissing the net. He scored a touchdown against the Ravens, and what'd he do? Took his helmet off and run all the way up the sideline, and then he kissed the field goal net. Bop it out of it. Man, you see Odell got him back in this game. Odell won the game for him. John Mara didn't say anything. Ben McAdoo didn't say a word. Now you're 0-3. Now his behavior is a problem. It should have been a problem before, and then you probably could have nipped this in the bud. You're going to have hell on your hands reining him in now.
That is correct. So, you are a Hall of Fame running back, and you are a Hall of Fame tight end, but kind of a hybrid wide receiver tight end, so maybe both, but especially you can relate to what I'm about to say. The position of wide receiver in the National Football League has become the most volatile position in all of sports because the internet, viral, what's the fastest way any NFL player can get on an NBA level as it relates to viral video. It's making a great catch. Not usually a great run, not even a tight end kind of catch. I'm talking about a Hall of Fame, one hand, an Odell kind of catch. A spectacular catch is as close as you can get to a spectacular dunk. And I've talked to Mr. Owens, Terrell Owens, about this. What was his dream of dreams? He wanted to play in the NBA, even beyond the NFL. And he constantly was frustrated by the fact that his very position limited his role occasionally because the wideout cannot call his own number. You're going to get, obviously in your heyday before you wound up in Oakland, but you're going to get your whatever.
I'm going to get my shares.
You get 25.
I'm going to get my carries. You're right.
Maybe you were frustrated occasionally, but not that often. You're going to get you're going to carry the load, man. And you got to a point where, obviously with the Ravens, you're just going to get one, but it's going to be a big one, man. And it's going to be the game changer, right? Big play Shea. But with these guys, and now he's the worst of it, he feels so, he wants to be an NBA style player and get that kind of acclaim, that kind of money, that kind of attention. And you can't because McAdoo's only going to call, Eli's only going to throw it to you, I don't know, 5, 7 times a game.
You're not
maybe.
getting 25 targets.
No, you're
like,
not.
Like a running back's going to get 25 rushing attempts.
You're not.
You're not getting
and
that.
it drives you crazy because your position is limited, but your position is also explosive because you can do something that will go viral. But a lot of times, he has to do something more. He has to urinate. He has to, he has
the
to
field goal net.
He has to do something that is so shockingly, quote unquote, out of bounds that everybody's talking about it because his brand has become more important to him, to me, than winning football games. In the end, he is the world. He's the Giants. He is the Big Apple. It's close between him and that New York Yankee, that new sensation, man, between who's the biggest star in New York. But I think Odell still, it's pretty close.
Well, I think that like I said, I think he will do it again. I mean, that's just him. That's
right.
And you're right about one thing. When you play in the I know the National Football League, when you're winning, you can go in the locker room. Stuff could be everywhere. This is why we winning. Look at this locker room. It's just a bunch of kids having a bunch of fun. Now, when it's messy, it's just messy. This is why we're losing, right here. Pick up this trash. This is why we can't win football games. It's messy around, and it's funny. Like you said, when he's acting like this and they're winning, it's all good. When losing,
I'm like, hold on. They didn't know we had a junkie locker room, so that's why they beat us. They beat our ass because we had a junkie locker room. We gonna make y'all go clean this
locker room up.
But that's how it is, and that's what I'm saying. Even if you win the game, if Odell does something and you say, Odell, we can't accept that because you put us in harm's way, okay. But you accept it when you win, and then now all of a sudden you're 0-3 because, Skip, no one thought they'd be in this ED. Nobody thought they'd be 0-3. Because
how unhappy do you think Odell is with 0-3, given the fact that in the fourth quarter they scored 24 points at Philadelphia and he caught 2 touchdown passes?
But here's the thing. Wide receivers, the reason why they get so frustrated, because they play a dependent position, and their value is based on catches, yards, and touchdowns. Exactly. So if you don't he doesn't look at himself like, well, if I do the runoff and my back picks up a 15-yard gain because the corner didn't slough off and make it for a 5-yard gain, he doesn't view that. No. If I don't get the ball in the end zone, I don't have 10 catches, 100 yards, I've done nothing. And people going to say I'm a bum.
Yep.
But that's how you equate. It takes a special type of person to realize I can have an impact on the game without touching the ball. Only offensive linemen think like that because they never touch the ball.
Receivers not gonna never feel like that.
It took me a while. It was hard. It was hard.
That's like a quarterback. We gonna hand the ball off 30 times. I'm gonna throw it 2 times. He's not gonna like that.
No. I mean, Tom Brady says I love winning, but I sure want to throw for 500 in that win.
No mercy. We're joined by one of the stars of the show, Cedric the Entertainer. Welcome back to
Undisputed. Man, what's up?
Yeah. Glad to have you back, bro.
What's going on?
Yeah, see, Shannon always unbuttons his buttons, so when he leans in to talk,
see, Said got that Frank Mueller, the crazy numbers on.
Yeah, crazy numbers. Yeah, exactly.
I want that hat after you leave here.
That's all you.
I need it. I'll wear it tomorrow.
Too, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the show.
So the show is loosely based on the tour I do, the Comedy Get Down tour. It's me, George Lopez, Eddie Griffin, D.L. Hewley, and of course the late Charlie Murphy. And these were some of the, we take loosely based stories that we did, the things that happened to us on tour, and we wrote like a mock reality show. So, that was based off of a family of people coming in my dressing room and just taking over. You invite a few people back to say hello. Next thing you know, they ordered food. The dude and tried my jacket on, tore it up, and these kind of things happening. So it's really fun. We base it off this world that we live in. Each weekend we out on tour, and BT we shot 10 of them. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think people are gonna enjoy this show a lot. It's some great episodes.
So I've always wanted to ask you. You have the greatest name in the history of show business, Cedric the Entertainer, because it lays it right on the line. Yeah. We are about to be entertained by you as soon as you sit down. Yeah. So what was the genesis of that? How did it start?
The name really just came from a situation where I used to just go by Cedric. I was a popular comedian in St. Louis. And, but I didn't have a lot of material. And so, but I wanted the money, because in comedy, you get paid by time. You get paid, if you can do 30 minutes, you get more money to do this. And so I wanted the money. So I would sing, I would dance, I would do all these extra things. And so when the guy was introducing people, he would go, the next comedian. I was like, don't call me a comedian called me an entertainer. And so he just called me Cedric the Entertainer, and I kept it. Yeah, that was it.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man, it was a great name. Like,
how difficult was it to do this? And you know Charlie is going through what he's going through. How difficult was it to you to stay focused?
I mean, you know, that's a hard thing when you know you with someone, you travel, you've been touring with them. We've been out like 3 years doing this tour,
right?
And we saw him starting to become ill. You know, he's a strong man, like most guys. He tried to keep it in for a long time, keep it to himself. And so as comrades and friends, we just try to keep him encouraged. You know, Charlie was a single parent. Unfortunately, his wife had passed a few years before that. So he was raising his kids, and so he would do the tour and get home as quickly as possible. But we were just really glad that, you know, his legacy is something that people will see here. He's funny on the show, even though you can kind of tell he's sickly, but his personality still jumps out on the show, you know. Yeah. And so we were happy that this is going to be something that people can see. If they're, you know, you're a big fan of Charlie, this will be another place you can see him, you know, and he's awesome on it.
Are comedians competitive? I know if you play basketball, you want to be the best. You play football and sports, and you're competitive. Are you guys competitive?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, when we're out on, you out on the stage, you'll hear the crowd roar.
Right.
And you like, you know, you might be, because, you know, like a lot of times we got that, you know, that braggadocious energy, like we got this, you know. Like I go last on the show, so you know, I got this, like I'm the headliner. I got this. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden you'll hear the crowd go, ah! Whoa, what's going on? Walk out there and look, see what's happening right now, you know. So, and then, you know, Eddie Griffin is a beast. Everybody is legends. So, you know, that this show is one where you have to step your game up every night.
So we know you're a big sports fan. We've been debating for much of the show Odell Beckham Jr.'s urinate like a dog celebration the other day in Philadelphia. Your thoughts on Odell?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that probably that celebration probably went a little too far or not far enough. You know, I feel like if you're gonna do that, go up to the ref and pee on his leg. Matter of fact, hump on his leg like my dog would do. Just get you a few little humps in. You know what I mean? But go for it. You know what I'm saying?
15 yards is 15.
I mean, 15 yards. What are you gonna do? You know, but I like the crawl. I like the crawl was kind of cool. I thought he was gonna do like some kind of Jurassic Park kind of move or something, you know. But then when he went into the dog pee, you could see it going wrong, right? Then you're like, oh. But you know, the commitment, you know. And so I mean, it deserved a flag, and you know, but he deserved a flag, and he went for it. Go for
you know
it.
what? I was surprised by the end of, because I was with you. It was like Jurassic Park, like we're doing something else, and then all of a sudden, hiked his leg.
Yeah, but I think, you know, like in this world of celebration, I'm glad it's back. We just didn't know where the line is. I like a good definitive line. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody knows no dog peeing.
Yeah, he was over the line. Yeah. Definitive and imaginary.
Sure. You know, but, you know, it was imaginary. It was a very imaginative like question, like, can you pee like a dog? And I was like, you know what? That's a good question, Odell. But it's too far.
Okay.
It was too far, man.
You want to go?
Go ahead.
Dwyane Wade has reunited, shockingly to some of us here, with LeBron James in Cleveland. Yeah. Your thoughts on how that will play out?
You know, I mean, you know, for those two guys, I'm actually, you know, glad they came back. I mean, I'm a Bulls fan, but the Chicago Bulls, they just kind of like, I don't know what they're doing these last few years. They just kind of like falling apart, giving everybody away. So, you know, but for Dwyane, to be on the Cavs back with LeBron, it was cool. I was, you know, you do question my best friend's back, you know, saying, hey, my best friend's coming, you know. And I think that it got to be, I really feel bad for the other guys on the team because somebody thought they was moving up. You know what I'm saying? You got to think JR was like, yo, I'm about to be parked next to Dwyane, to LeBron. And then it's like, oh, here come Dwyane. Hey, man, scoot over, little man. You know what I'm saying?
I think Richard Jefferson thought that last year. He'd
exactly.
Bestie,
the bestie.
I don't know.
They got the better parking space. It's like LeBron putting them up at lunch. You know, hey, come on up here with me. You know. So, but you know, I think that he still got game. I think they have that. You know, they have great synergy together. You know, the East is one of those places where it feels like you know, the Cavs can always come out of the East just with LeBron by himself in so many ways. I mean, you know, they got great role players, and you still got Kevin Love there. But I think, you know, with Dwyane, that synergy they have, that kind of combination, the friendship, that works to their advantage, you know. So you never know, man.
The way the East is constructed now, LeBron and the Four Tops could come out of the East.
Exactly. I mean, literally with Levi.
OKC reloaded. They got Paul George. They traded for Melo. What are your expectations from OKC with Russell now, with those two guys?
I mean, you know, of course, Russell had an amazing year last year, so, you know, you got to think that he's going to come back in full force. And then, you know, last year he truly was like a one-man show. So you got some balancing act. I mean, Paul George is amazing. And then, you know, Melo going to come in and give you a scoring threat. So who's going to have the ball as much? This is always the question when you got these kind of guys, especially with Melo and Westbrook, is like, who gets the ball, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, I think they're going to have to work that out. You know, everybody loves this idea of these super teams, you know.
Yes.
But, you know, I just kind of feel like everybody should go to Golden State. Like, don't even worry about it. No other team. Like, if you really want to ring, like, because you're not going to win. I mean, so, God bless you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you for speaking some truth around
But everybody just
here.
go to Golden State. Just trade. Like, let them have a 78-man roster.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, said there are very few solo guys that join the band. It's always the guy that's in the band that becomes a solo star. So we're going to see how Russell play with those guys.
We'll see. Well, we got to leave it there. Check out the Comedy Get Down starting October 12th on BET. Cedric, thanks so much for coming.
No mercy.
Dwyane Wade signed a one-year deal with the Cavs for just over $2 million, according to ESPN. The move reunites Wade with LeBron, who he won 2 rings with in Miami. Yesterday, LeBron talked about Wade joining the team. Let's take a listen.
I'm happy that we was able to keep him away from everybody else. And I mean, it's a guy. I mean, come on, man. It's like one of my best friends. So, you know, it's like it's kind of like when you start school and you know, you walk into the classroom, you're not quite sure who your classmates is, and when you walk in there, one of your best friends is in there, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good class. So it's the type of feeling I got.
Wade issued a statement yesterday saying, "There's no better place to be right now to continue to play and compete at the highest level. Cleveland believes in my talents, and that's what I can bring to a championship contender. Both as a player and a leader, I look forward to reuniting and playing alongside my brother LeBron. We've already won 2 championships together, and I hope that we win a 3rd. Shannon, what do you expect from LeBron and Wade this season?
Yeah, Skip, you've been into a class. You walk into the first day of school, you look around. I did that a lot of times. I'm like, what you doing in my class? You ain't supposed to be in here.
They weren't smart enough?
No! Oh. You know, back then when I was coaching, you used to have A group, B group, C group. You know, they cut that out and now made kids feel, you know, kids feel bad about themselves. Should have felt bad about them grades. That's how you got in that classroom, but that's not here nor there. This is going to be good for LeBron. He's going to have some fun. It's nice to have people that you know respect, you know what you can count on them in the clutch. He's not getting the 2010 when he first went to Miami, D. Wade. He understands that. D. Wade is not going to practice every day. He played 60 games last year. He'll probably play somewhere around that this year, somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. That's where he is. But for the money that they paid to get him and the kind of player that he is, he can help. And so guess what that means, Skip? LeBron's not going to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
That's enough.
He's going to 8 straight finals. Second, they're going to see the Warriors again. And this time, the outcome's going to be different.
They give out rings for making it to the finals?
No. We got 3 for winning, and we got a ring for being MVP. So we got 6 rings. Each time we win the finals MVP, we get a ring for that, too.
How many times has LeBron lost the finals? Just refresh.
4.
4 times?
Yeah. He about to be 4 and 4. About to be 4 and 4.
Let's see. Michael lost not 1, not 2. Well, you lost none.
First of all, this is not a Michael story.
Oh,
Skip,
well, you brought it up.
I
got it.
I didn't mention Michael Jordan's name. I didn't mention his name.
So, are you finished?
No. And plus, Isaiah Thomas is going to be out until January. We got somebody that can score points until he comes back. I like this, Skip. We deep now. We deep. We go 12 deep.
You're deep in age.
Don't worry about all that.
That's the oldest team in the league. You realize that?
Well, that's
by far the oldest team in the league.
Well, the best kind of scotch, whiskey, is aged. The best kind of beef is age.
I don't think that applies to professional basketball.
The best kind of wine is age. Tom Brady, 40. You ain't say nothing about his age. Oh.
He's beating the system.
Well, we gonna beat the system.
He's stiff-arming Father Time.
Well, we beat the system and got a 12, 13-time All-Star for $2.5 million. Now.
Back to the LeBron I saw yesterday in that media session. I'm not sure I've ever seen him happier than he was. He was giddy happy.
Yep.
He was little kid on Christmas happy. And he should be, because I want to remind everybody of what just transpired. His quote-unquote big brother, his mentor, the player who taught LeBron how to win in Miami. Took a while, but he taught him how.
It ain't take no while. It took a year.
It took a bloody bad year.
That's okay.
Like as painful a year as you've ever seen. That finals in 2011. Whew.
Just say the finals.
Meltdown.
Don't say Skip. Stop doing that, talking about the whole year. The finals were bad. Everything else was great.
So that guy who did that for LeBron is the same guy that LeBron left high and dry after the 2014 finals in a shocking move in the 11th hour, right up against the deadline. Dwyane was blindsided, as was Pat Riley, by the fact LeBron's leaving us, because LeBron clearly had decided Dwyane's knees were just too shot to give him enough help going forward.
Yeah.
And it was over. And he hugged him and said, "I'm sorry, bro, I gotta go."
Yeah.
And it was easier to justify because he was going home. So it's hard to rip somebody for going home, right?
The world.
Well, okay. So that guy, and again, I know several people close to Dwyane, and they were stunned that Dwyane took it so well because they thought the bridge had been burned between Dwyane and LeBron.
Never.
As close as they were. But friendship won out.
That's right.
That depth of that brotherhood kind of friendship, that brother-to-brother friendship, it somehow won out. And now Dwyane Wade has come full circle back to reunite with LeBron James in Cleveland. This is a shocking story to me. For a season in which Dwyane is going to make a grand total of $2.3 million, while LeBron James is scheduled to make $33.3 million. Think of that. The brothers have reunited, but Dwyane makes 2.3 and LeBron makes 33.3.
But he got like 13, 15 million from the Bulls, Skip, to buy him out.
But Cleveland is only paying him 2.3.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
I mean, that's they underpaying him.
And Dwayne's okay with that? Apparently, he's great with it, which means that the biggest blessing in LeBron James' life has been Dwyane Wade. And I've told you what I think of Dwyane. I think you share my feelings. But this guy is a natural-born winner. This guy, he is a very special human being when it comes to knowing how to play and win basketball games.
First of all, Skip, what they're paying LeBron, they're underpaying him. He's
like I agree.
He's like an hourly worker. It's like he should just have a regular 9-to-5 job, an hourly job, because that's what they paying him.
I got you. But you want to talk about underpaid at 2.3? Dwyane is going to be so valuable to LeBron off the floor as that mentor, as that.
Skip, that man 32. He's about to be 33 with a wife and 3 kids. You talk about mentoring him off the floor.
He's a mentor. He's a rock. He is LeBron's rock. And I'm going to tell you what his role is going to become. I don't think he's going to play high minutes.
No.
But I think he's going to be on the floor at the end of games.
Yeah.
And I think he will become, as Kyrie was, LeBron's closer. Because Dwyane will still take make big shots.
Who Kyrie?
Kyrie, I don't know.
I don't know him.
He's playing.
Is he in the wine and gold?
Yeah.
If he don't play for the wine and gold, I don't know nobody that doesn't play for the wine and gold.
He wears green now.
Okay.
And he's going to be
yellow.
He wears your
yellow.
nemesis before this is over.
Is he KD?
Oh, did you just call him a coward?
Is he KD?
Oh.
Is he KD?
No.
Is he Steph Curry?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Is he Russ?
Here's the better question. Is LeBron KD? No.
He better.
Huh?
He better.
Oh, who was the MVP? Help me out.
Oh, the finals?
Who shot that shot right in LeBron's face that just sealed the deal?
Do you know how many of those trophies LeBron got?
Wow.
You know how many trophies he got?
Wait, and who hit the shot in Game 7 a couple years back that won LeBron his last ring?
World Peace?
It was
that
guy.
Was
it was the Kyrie who now wears yellow, according to my partner here.
Skip,
Kyrie, you wear yellow?
I don't know Kyrie.
So the Celtics are all going to wear green, but Kyrie should come out wearing yellow.
He gonna have them yellow shoes, Mamba mentality. I should have known something was up because every time he come out with a shoe, it's Mamba mentality. It's Mamba this. Be your own person. Stop following up. There's only one Mamba. It's Kobe. So I'm tired of all this Mamba mentality. I went to Mamba mentality. I'm the green Mamba. I'm the yellow Mamba. There's one. Kobe is it. So I want everybody, nobody else can be Mamba nothing.
Doesn't LeBron James wear 23?
No, he don't call himself, I'm Air Jordan, I'm Air LeBron. I'm his royal airness. He say, I'm the king. The king.
And you know what hurts my heart? The more I think about it, after I slept on it last night, I still can't believe that Dwyane Wade didn't mend the fence with Pat Riley and just go home.
No.
Go home.
No.
Because that's your home.
Because Pat is
I know he's born and raised in Chicago, but his home was Miami.
Yep.
D-Wade said, I'm tired of taking a back seat while you sign Chris Bosh. I'm tired of taking a You want to sign Hassan Whiteside. You want Kevin Durant. Now you want me to take all these discounts.
We are going to have a statue outside on
He's
Biscayne
the
Boulevard.
face of the franchise.
Well, he's one of the faces of the franchise in Cleveland. Now, how y'all like that, Joe? And plus, Pat Riley didn't hold true to his word. You said you would spend to make sure we put the best product we could on the court. You told me Glow could be courtside. You told me my homeboys, Rich Paul and Mav, would be able to come and go as they please. You renege, so I'm reneging. So two reneges are right. Now, we back where we supposed to be, won a championship, which is worth more than 3 or 4 in Miami, because we did something nobody thought was possible. And we did it from 3-1
So
down.
from this point forward, can I now trust that LeBron cannot say publicly, I don't have enough help?
Stop doing that.
We're top heavy
Stop it, Skip.
Right?
Stop it. You need to stop.
He said
please.
that
Yeah,
late
he
last
said
year.
It was true.
We're top heavy as.
Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened when LeBron was off the court?
Wow.
Did you see what happened when LeBron was off the court and they had Kyrie?
Top heavy as.
Yeah, we were. Now we good. Now we got. Now we
Wait,
got
what really changed?
Now you know.
Jeff Green, did that change it?
Don't worry about us.
What's left of D Rose?
All I know is that it will be 8 straight for LeBron, and the outcome will be different this year.
You know, I think I'm gonna start rooting for the Heat now.
Good.
I am.
Look. First of all,
Give
we
me
are
some
everybody.
Deion Waiters.
We all know that we root for anybody that's against LeBron. Guess what? That's where he was in the playoffs. Standing outside the lock. We wouldn't even let him in our building. He wanted to come watch a Cavs game. They say no. You could only play. If you're an NBA player, you can only come into a playoff game if you own the court. That's how we do it in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Isaiah Thomas wants to score 30 a game. That would be interesting.
And LeBron went into the training room with a stop sign. He said, "Stop talking crazy." You know D-well you not scoring no 30 points here. Now, I know you are a humpback whale, humpback whale. They get huge, Skip. I saw one break the surface off the coast of Australia.
Wait, Isaiah's a humpback?
He's a humpback whale.
He's 5'9".
Hold on, no. He was a humpback whale in Boston. But LeBron, that blue whale, big old. They say their heart is big as a car. Blue whale.
Really?
Yeah, so they weigh like 100 tons. That's what LeBron is. So if you ain't scoring no. Did he say that out loud?
Whales are so slow, though, right?
LeBron.
Is he losing?
No, hold on. You think they slow. But when you weigh 100 tons and you going at 7 miles, 8 miles an hour, that's booking. That's booking, Skip.
I don't know.
And that with old big old Bron. You see how Bron that be. When he locomotive, when he say, you know what?
Sounds like you just said Cleveland's bigger than Boston.
Yeah, it is. Oh, LeBron.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
15th
LeBron.
year, you know that.
Tom Brady in his 18th year. And you ain't saying nothing about
Tom doesn't have to jump.
He can't.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Catch us again same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.